Okay.
Good morning, Pearl.
And good morning, Lauren. Lovely to see you again. Lovely, bright, sunny morning again in Salt Hill.
Beautiful morning.
And
I'm really looking forward to hearing about the movements over the next few days.
yeah, we have a few questions and maybe a few answers as well, hopefully, or an understanding of what's going on right now, because we're having some major moves in the heavens. We've planets getting together. We need to understand what their personalities are like, how they talk to each other, you know. So, as the saying goes, you can ask me anything. And I'll try and give you an explanation. But today is the 27th of April. Tomorrow's the 28th. By then, today the moon has moved to Pisces. Jupiter's in Pisces. Pisces is the top left-hand corner. Jupiter rules the sign of Pisces. And so Jupiter is at home, and the moon in its transit, in its movement right now, is after moving into the sign of Pisces. And so Jupiter and the moon are relatively friendly to each other. Jupiter's always a good energy. He's our guidance, he's our way forward. And what's useful to look at as well always with Jupiter is the ninth from Jupiter, to find out who's inspired in your Jupiter. He's going to show you the way forward, but it's good to look at your Jupiter position and count from what house is the ninth from Jupiter in your chart.
Okay.
You know, so your Jupiter's in Cancer in your birth chart, and so Jupiter at the moment is in Pisces. So there's a 5-9 relationship between the Jupiter where it is right now
and where it is in the birth chart,
which is a very nice blessing, because it's like having an angel on your shoulder, you know. Now, having the moon gone in there, bringing nourishment to the space, as I keep saying, Jupiter's gone home to the sign of Pisces to recharge its batteries, because, you know, when we get cross or angry or tired or exhausted or abused or anything, the best thing you can do is pull back and rest and restore your energy and get the positive vibrations built up again. And that's what I feel Jupiter is doing, because he's been moving for the last while, and he's had a difficult time moving very quickly through here, through these signs, moving too fast. And then he got the degradation within the humiliation of being debilitated in Capricorn. He is in Saturn Rahu sign in Aquarius, and then finally he gets to get in home.
There's a bit of relief.
And he really needs to rest now. And we all need to rest from what came with this, because Jupiter, when he's not feeling good, everything gets fragmented, same as ourselves. When too much going on, too many demands, too much ugliness, we're worn out. We're burnt out, and we really need to pull back, rest, relax, put our feet up, do the prayers, do the dance, do whatever it is that charms you or pulls you up. The bells are ringing at the moment. It's a great omen for what we need to hear happening, to hear the bells ringing anytime you're talking about anything. So, and the birds are singing, which is also very nice, you know. So the omens are very good for us sitting here today. So when I'm talking about transits, you know, in astrology there's 3 levels. You get the chart, which is your own map. You get what karma you have to deal with right now, which in astrology we call dasha, or the time period, the karma that you have to deal with that's currently come up for you to deal with. And then there's the transit. That's where the planets are in the heavens at the moment. And that's like where the wind is blowing and causing the sail to change the direction, or you having to adjust. So tomorrow we're going to have Venus move to the sign of Pisces as well on the 28th.
Okay.
So Venus is going to go in here to
Mm-hmm.
this sign, the sign of Jupiter. It's going to be with the moon. And so these are gentle energies.
Mm.
These are benefics, they call them benefics. But in astrology, there's two different types of natures, I suppose, really, would be the way to describe them. The gentle energies are the kinder or the softer energies, and then there's the harsher, more cruel type energies. And so
the three of those are going to be by
Together.
tomorrow together. So what does that, how do we feel that? Like, what does that?
how does it
Yeah,
feel? Yeah,
yeah.
well, this is the thing that I suppose you can report back as it goes. But Venus gets exalted in Pisces,
Okay.
so she really likes to be there, because Pisces is a sign of unconditional love. You know, Venus
The vast ocean of awareness.
in the vast ocean of awareness is like the drop going into the ocean,
Mm.
becoming at one with the ocean. You know, the eye of divinity that we all can go back to is the vast ocean of awareness. And that's what Venus going there is experiencing, you know, as is Jupiter. So they're both in a very special position together over the next few weeks, you know, with the Venus
wisdom
exalted.
and the beauty and the
Wisdom
nourishment.
and the beauty, yeah. And they're
Mm.
both teachers. And the interesting thing as well is that Jupiter was a student of Venus and
Okay.
managed to get mantras from her
Mhm.
that he needed to help him, you know.
Mm.
Venus is very powerful in the chart, even though she goes around looking like she's only interested in having a good time, which she is. She does things for the pleasure, or she deals with the demons, she deals with the harsher characters. She helps to deal with the Rahu. She's the guru to Rahu. She's the guru to she helps to take the harshness away from, or the crueler aspects away from the more difficult planets, by showing
So
them
there's a bit more
beauty.
depth there.
She can entertain them.
Yeah.
She gives you nice fabric. She gives
Yeah.
you nice food. She gives them entertainment. She gives you the dancers, and so even the tough guys
Mm.
are softened as a result of her presence.
Mm.
So she's very powerful in her role in the chart. And so herself and Jupiter together, as I said, with the harshness that everything has come through, that this opportunity, there's a great opportunity now to do something that you'd really like to do, and to have this blessing. You know, I keep saying about, you know, the starting point is the main thing of anything you're going to do. And if you can do something when there's very good energies coming together, then you have that strength going forward. So this is a great time. And the other thing that's coming as well, at the moment in the heavens right now, the sun is in Aries,
Mhm.
and the sun is exalted in Aries. Okay?
Okay.
So again, exaltation means the planet is very happy to be able to do what he is able to do. He's in a supportive role, or in a supportive position, where he can get to do what he wants to do. So we have right now happening, we have Jupiter in Sun sign,
Mhm.
we have Venus gone to its place of exaltation, we have the sun in its place of exaltation, and we have the moon just moved in here as well into Pisces, bringing the softness, as I said, the water and can, bringing the life forward that's going to keep it going and keep everything nurtured. That's the role of the moon. And so the next experience we're going to have is the moon is going to move into Aries. Now this is on the 30th, and on the same day Saturn moves into Aquarius with Mars. So what we're looking at right now is a lot of activity here. So you've Saturn moving out of your first house here, finally, after 2.5 years. Or thereabouts. Now he is going to go back again. He is going to go back. He's not fully finished there yet until January of next year. But he is going to be certainly some freedom out of out of that, or some weight, easier to see your way, you know. I know
you're the work.
I know you've very practical woman and you make very good use of your Saturn. Thankfully I've been blessed to have you help me to get to do this. But anyway, so Saturn
so Saturn will be moving.
Saturn moving into Aquarius.
And Mars is there.
Mars is there already. Now Mars is the one that's kind of at the moment in a mid-degree. And one of the things that's good to know is that when a planet has gone into a sign, or in a very low degree of a sign, it's a bit like a new baby being born. It's not really capable of doing that much. But the planet that's at the mid-degrees, like Mars is at the 14, 15 degrees at the moment. So he's right in the middle. So he's in mid-age and he's in a good space. He's more strength. There's plenty of gusto in him to do things, and he has the energy to do things. He's not a baby. Or if we'd say like Saturn today is at 29 degrees 50 something, or Venus is at 29 degrees 50 something minutes. And so they're at the very last degrees of these signs. And if they are, they're really old. You know, they're just only, they're, you know, creeping their way over the line into a whole new situation again. So they're going from being old, tired, worn out of that space into the next space, which
and another little fresh kind of lease of
starting something new again, you know. But as I said, the other thing, Mars and Saturn together. Like Mars is like the old man anyway, and Mars is like the young buck. Mars wants to do everything new, or he's like the accelerator in the car, whereas the Saturn is the brake. And Saturn is saying, take your time. Saturn is saying, look at the things of value that are traditionally have benefited since time began, and we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Whereas Mars is no bother throwing out the baby and the bathwater and the bath
together,
because they're all old-fashioned anyway. And we'll bring in a new technological switch that you'll hit on in the morning, and it'll get you go down the stairs as you dash out the door, and the coffee machine will have been at the door and the coffee made
ready,
so you can run off out the door. And the technology will all do it from you. Just hit the button beside the bed, and by the time you get down the stairs, you're showered, all your messages sent, the car is started up, the seat is warm in the car, the coffee is in your hand, and you're out the door
and you're gone.
5 minutes. That's what Mars, the technology wants,
and
you know.
Just if you don't mind me just asking, so you were saying Saturn is obviously just coming in, Mars is there at 14, 15 degrees, but the fact that Saturn rules that house, does that kind of give Saturn a bit more strength than a planet who's just moved in?
Absolutely, yeah, because he's moving to his own house, but again, Rahu rules this place as well, you know, so we can never, we have to take Rahu into account all the time, because we never quite know what he's going to bring. But he will bring innovation, he will bring change, you know. And these three are seen as the most difficult energies in the Bhagavad Gita that they talk about, you know, the rush of Rahu to bring in the new. We've got Mars willing to put in the energy to make that happen, and we have Saturn trying to hold off the tradition, you know, to respect tradition and to respect the values. So we have the three energies doing a dance here, okay? And then at the same time you have Rahu just made its way in here into Mars' sign. So we have Mars in Rahu's sign, and we have Rahu now moved into Mars' sign. So they're in each other's houses, and the Rahu is with the sun, and the moon is about to move there. And when that happens, it'll be our first eclipse in the Aries Libra axis. This
with Ketu down in Libra.
With Ketu down in Libra. But that's a whole new, as I said, I'm watching the space because of my own planets. I have 4 planets here in Libra. So Ketu is about to. And what's interesting to look at is what happened 18 years ago. You know, as this transition happened before, you know, 18 years ago is 2003, 2004.
2004, yeah.
You know, around that kind of time. And same here with Rahu. And again, you can ask the question, what happened? We'd say it's actually from about August 2003 into 2004.
Okay.
And where were you in your career at that time? Or it actually depends on what house it is for you. This is my fourth house. And by the time I finished this period, I was out of my business situation where I lived. This is the marketplace. I was out of the house. I was gone.
By the time
it was gone.
Yeah.
At the time that transit finished. You know, I was out here in Saltaire, the business was gone. You know, my work had completely changed. I was retired. I was, you know, walking the roads. You know, what do I do with myself now? Swimming in the sea every day just to remind myself I'm alive.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a big challenge, big change that happened. And, you know, as I said, it was a fire that happened in the premises that brought on the biggest change at that time, at the end of that period. So watch this space.
Watch this space.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If you look at the house that's involved here for you right now, and ask yourself in the sign of Libra, what house is that for you? You know, for you, this is your first house, so this is your 10th house. Do you know?
Very relevant.
And it's a big change again. You know, it's a big change again, and you know, if you have planets here as well, it's another trigger. And so when we're looking at this, we're looking at symbols of real movement, real change, and as I said, the Mars, Rahu, Saturn, and you've got the Sun, Rahu, and you've got the eclipse on the 30th. You know, so you have
a lot going on.
Huge changes during these few days. And then the other thing that's happening, when the eclipse, just after the eclipse happened, the moon moves to Taurus. Moon spends 2.5 days in each sign. It's just gone there, so we'd say today is
Wednesday, 27th.
I just did the chart here for the 28th. So tomorrow, around this time, moon will be at 15 degrees of Pisces.
Okay.
So moon moves 11-12 degrees a day. So the following day will be the 29th, and so the moon will be, we'd say 11 and 15 is 26, and so 29, 30. So the 30th, moon will be here.
That's the day of the eclipse.
That's the day of the eclipse, and it's when the sun and the moon and the Rahu come into the same space that causes an eclipse experience, which this is the sign of Aries, and Aries and the sun very much where the sun is exalted. I wouldn't be surprised seeing some kings dethroned.
Interesting.
In this time frame. This is the first eclipse in this space. Our Michael D. Higgins has his...
Kings or queens? Kings or queens?
Well, I think Aries is a male sign. So I think the male energy is more likely to experience a big change during this time. Or not even the male energy, but maybe the crueler aspects of what, because what's been strengthened is the feminine, softer qualities. You know, this is the lovely thing that's going on right now. So the more we do to develop and to work with those softer energies, with the kindness, with the patience, with the compassion, you know, because those are all Piscean qualities, you know. You can see there on the list, adaptable, spiritual, sensitivity, you know, in Pisces. So these are the qualities that the Jupiter and Venus and the moon can give expression to right now. And so that's what they're being asked to do. And then of their own nature, like the moon, the emotions, the mind, being taken up with wanting to be adaptable, sensitive, and this is how you use the language. You know, same with the Venus. The Venus brings beauty and seduction and all things. You know, she takes those rough edges away. You know, so in her exaltation and the compassion and the having the goodness, and the same with the Jupiter, the wisdom,
so they can do their best work.
They can do their best work. They're available to the best work. So they're really strengthening the softer qualities right now, you know. And at the same time, the male masculine type are more demanding type energies are being challenged to change, because an eclipse is about change. It's about churning up the treasures and the poisons.
And it's happening in Aries.
And it's happening in Aries. And Aries is the sign of new beginnings. You know? So
it's interesting, isn't it?
It's
going to be a really interesting.
It's a really interesting, really challenging period, and you really need to look at the houses to
where
make it personal.
Your chart.
Where it is in your chart, and also if you have any planets in those houses, because they'll be affected very particularly. And so how close it to the degree, because there's 30 degrees in each sign, and as I said, at the earlier stages they're only like somebody moving house. You know, they're not able to do very much, but as time goes on, they're going to get more and more powerful within the signs, and more powerful
and more,
to bring changes, you know. But then, as I said, the moon spends 2.5 days in each sign. So after the eclipse on the 30th, and Saturn will have moved in with Mars, we'll have the sun exalted in here. We'll have the sun exalted in Aries, and we'll have moon move into Taurus. Now, this only happens once a year. That the sun is exalted in Aries and moon is exalted in Taurus. Okay? But at the same time, Jupiter is in Pisces. So that can only happen every 12 years. And Venus is exalted in Pisces. And that itself, with Jupiter, can only happen every 12 years, you know, because of the cycle. Well, even you're not guaranteed even every 12 years that the moon, that they'll all line up, that the Venus winds up in Pisces as well. But it might at the same time, but it's not as. Anyway, it's just. This is a wonderful opportunity to have what are the luminaries exalted,
the planets exalted,
and the Venus exalted, and Jupiter in its own sign, and Saturn in its moon trachona sign, which means it's in its place where it's able to work best, because Jupiter is at home in its own house, and Saturn, you know, is our Saturn. I mean, when a planet is in its own house, it's more like. Well, you can get on with whatever you do, and you can keep it any way you like, and it's your house anyway, and you know. But if you go into your Mula Trachona sign, it's more like you're gone to the office, you're gone into officialdom, so you're now functioning in a much more sophisticated, higher level. You're putting yourself out there into the world like it's a, you know, professional in your field. So the Mula Trachona sign of any planet is a very good place for to be, and so Saturn's now going there, you know, which is a strength. So we're going to have, for these few days particularly, because the moon is going to be exalted for the 2.5 days that it goes through Taurus. The sun is exalted until it finishes up. It's got about 15 days. The sun moves a degree a day. That's how you get your 360 degree in the chart. Okay, so he moves just about a degree a day. So he's 15 at the moment, so he's another 15 to do in, well, he's 13 tomorrow. 12th.
So he's about a month in each sign, roughly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So he's about another 15 days to go in its exaltation. And so it's just, if anybody's making any plans to do anything, if you want to build anything, build up on anything, or start anything, this is...
Can I ask you a question about that?
Certainly.
Because it's two questions actually, but kind of related. So you were just about to say about time, this is a good time. So when you were talking about starting something and looking at Pisces, looking at Venus and Jupiter and the moon moving in there, would you say kind of just a couple of days, like this is a great time to start something, or is it a longer period? And also the timing with Ketu, this period of Ketu being in Libra, you were talking about, and so time on that as well. So what kind of length of time is the most, is kind of the, has it got the most potential for it?
Well, I
as a starting point, like you're kind of saying about starting.
I think over this next week,
there's
a great energy there, you know, because as I said, the moon is going to be exalted.
Up to when the moon is in Taurus.
The sun is going to be, when the moon is in Taurus, it'll be exalted. The sun will be in Aries, exalted. Venus is in Pisces, exalted. Saturn is in its own sign. Jupiter is in its own sign. And Rahu and Ketu are up for a whole change of focus from Earth sign and fixed Taurus and Scorpio to Aries, Libra, movable signs. And you know, with fixed signs, and this is one of the things about fixed signs, they're called fixed signs because they don't want to change, whereas the movable signs really do want to change. And the movable signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. And the thing about movable signs is they want to be on the move. So you'll always see movable signs getting things started. Okay. And the fixed sign people keep the thing going. You know, that's why we need to keep changing job, or those that set up
new ideas or new projects.
New ideas, like your lovely idea with the umbrella, and you know, and it's the fixed people to keep the thing going. They're there for the long haul. Whereas the innovators, the people with the ideas, they start things up to get things going.
And once burst of energy
and once it's going, it's on to the next thing. They're already the fixed sign people might be getting the awards, but the person who set it up has no interest because they're off doing the next thing. You know. Whereas now the corner signs, the Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, they can go either way. They're more flexible, they're more adaptable in the way they function. You know, they can
dual signs.
They're dual signs, exactly. So they you know, they have their own way of functioning and asking the questions and causing you to ask the question or see things in two ways, you know, whereas the other signs are very, one wants to go on and then be on to the new thing and the next thing, and I have a great idea now, and never mind, what did you do there last week? Or, that's done, somebody else is off making it happen. You know, you're not interested anymore in that because you've fulfilled your role there. Or it might take you a year to get a job done, or, you know, but
I guess I know what you mean by the energy.
But the energy of it right now is to do new things. This eclipse now is about bringing new energy. The fixed sign that has been there, the fixed, it's quite extraordinary, I suppose, the level of knowledge that's coming out about the fixed energy that has been there for so long, and what we've listened to, and what we've heard, and what do we know is true even? How true is it? Even the history, you know, everything is up for question of what has been so fixed. Yeah, I was just reading something again. We were talking about old houses earlier, but our old monuments, and they're saying now, well, they were there long ago. But there was major fires worldwide, and then they built on top of the old monuments that were there. But our current builders don't do any that kind of very tasteful work that was done long ago. The skills, the beauty of things. Despite having the technology, or they say we think we're advanced, until you look at the incredible monuments that are there already, and the technological and the astronomical information that caused them to know how to name the days of the week, or the formations of places of devotion, or the
resources and electricity, everything,
so many things, and we think we're all important, and that there's been people in control for so long, and holding the thing back, that this is the human spirit being allowed to free up, do what it naturally wants to do. Because my thing about astrology is that it empowers us to make the best use of our time. All we have is the bit of time we have, and it gives us a guideline on how to best use that time. And that's why I'm saying, if you look at the house that's being activated here, and whatever house that is for you, that's a circumstance in your life that you want to bring about some change in, maybe, or you want to transform, or and it affects everything else, because there's none of them on their own. But when something gets triggered, right? If we look at Jupiter, Pisces, which is where all the beauty is coming into, and the goodness, and the spiritual dimension is being really nurtured there now, and that thing of having gone back to that oneness of divinity that holds everything, and everything is found within that one sacred space, because we're all part of the same universe. No matter how we look at it, the galaxies, the stars, we're in this together. Like, we're not separate entities having to torment each other, or the space we're in. We're here with a very special, unique role to play in the grand design, or the whatever you want to call it. But and the gods as well. The way we've such fixed ideas about the gods and the role they play. But the god is really something you admire, and if you can strengthen what's calling you to admire it, if you can strengthen that quality in yourself, you'll adapt to that quality. You'll take that quality on yourself. It's only when we find fault with ourselves and the current agenda of sickness, and all that stuff that's been coming at us about being sick, it's undermining our confidence. It's deliberately upsetting our mental well-being, whereas in actual fact we're born the way we're meant to be. We don't need all of this, and nature provides us with the healing that we need.
We're divine sparks of creation.
We are divine sparks of creation. We are. And we need to be talking to people who know that and want to live that and honor that. And that's what astrology gives you a chance to do, is, aside from what a teacher might have told you, or parent might have told you, or a boyfriend might have told you, or living up to someone else's expectation is not going to give you peace of mind, but appreciating what is yours and honoring that, because you're the gift. This is the big thing, that we are the gifts that have been given to the world right now, to do what is in our hearts to do.
Absolutely.
And called to do. It's the most important thing we can do right now, is to honor that spark that's ours. And the criticisms and the being big, small, whatever it has nothing got to do with it. It's like this is My son was telling me the other day, it's like this.
It's like this.
Like it. Like it. You know.
So in summary, for the next
I think
kind of 4 or 5 days,
whatever sparks are coming alive in you.
Okay, listen.
Listen. Okay. Listen well. And
take the leap.
I would say take the leap. If you feel like taking the leap, you have to take the leap, because the only thing you'll have is regret for not taking it. That's the only thing you'll have.
Because the first thing that comes to mind is, the thing that stops us all, I suppose, in small ways, big ways, is that fear, of getting the feeling, that dream or that desire or that, that comes in, and then trusting, or staying in the love so that the fear doesn't take over and stop you from taking the leap.
And I think as well, we have to be very careful of the company we keep. And that's why in the deities or in the energies that you have around you, whether it's a tree you trust, or whether it's a bird you trust, or whatever you look at and you see and you want to be able to fly like that, or you want to be able to flourish like that plant, or that's what you have to take your life for, son. Not from those that are afraid. You have to stay away from that energy, because it'll hold you back.
So true.
That's all that holds you back. We really have to stay with. And even that Ganesh, I was going to show as well, this is an ephemeris. Ephemeris is a timetable of when planets are going to make changes. This is from 1940 to 20 to 40. And it gives you a day-by-day table of month-by-month table of when the changes are going to happen. So you can see at the moment, this is just a very brief synopsis of what I think is a great opportunity to make things happen. Sure, you can choose the time of the day. You can choose the day of the week. Jupiter's day is Thursday. Venus's day is Friday. These planets are strong. The sun is strong at the moment. It's the sun's day. The moon is strong for a few days. And this is what I'm saying. Like the moon is now going into its bright fortnight as well. So it's gone into its place of exaltation, and it's in its bright fortnight. So it's a growth period. It's just, and as I said, the Saturn, the practicality of being able to get down to work and do the work. Is very strong with Saturn going to its mole of the corona sign. You've got to put the disciplines in place. You've got to put the hard work in place. With the Saturn. But that's what he wants us to do. But the grace of God is prime, and to understand, and whatever God is for you, it's the spirit that's within you, the eye that's in you, that's divine. That's the spirit, and to trust that, and to, I suppose, talk to people or be involved with people that are willing to encourage that in you, and not the ones that the naysayers. This is definitely a time to encourage, or get encouraged, or be encouraged. The energy is there to go with it, and even the ideas, the dreams, that are coming to you. It's just
tune into them.
Just tune in. Just tune in. That's I think it's
that's beautiful.
It's a lovely time. It's a great opportunity, and stop saying no.
It's a good piece of advice.
And don't let other people say no either. And don't share it with anyone that wants to say no. Or that will tell you, oh, you couldn't do that. Run a mile. Run a mile.
That's brilliant, Carol. Thank you so much for all of that.
It's so important. It's so important to understand when you get an opportunity. And it's not without, as I said, these lads will challenge. And the thing about these tougher energies is that they force us to make the changes, you know. There's three types of energy that they talk about: the Rajas, the Tamas, and the Sattva. And the Rajas is the energy of wanting to make things happen. The Venus and the Mercury are the Rajas energies, the honey and the money. We want a good time. We want to be able to have the nice things in life. We want to bring the nice things in life. We want to be in friendships. We want to be in beautiful places, you know. And we have our own way of doing it. We all have our own way of doing these things. They usually, the Raja stirs us up enough to make us push to get the thing we want to get, you know. And so the Mars and the Saturns, and they kick in and they say, oh, okay, I'll make it happen, and maybe it won't happen fast enough, or the Saturn is balking it or doubting it, or that's the one thing you really need to watch is the doubt, the resistance. Where's the resistance coming from? You know, and try and move through it, try and understand that it's a piece of information you don't have. And if you had the piece of information, you wouldn't have so much resistance, because it just brings up the fear. And so it's to get the education, and the Venus and the Jupiter give us the education, you know, they lift the level of knowledge. And so the more you get the knowledge, the more you can move into the Sattva. So you go from the Raja that says, yeah, I want this, I want this, and this is how we want to make it happen for the benefit of everyone. And then, as I said, you meet the thing that, oh, maybe you don't have enough information, maybe you don't have quite what you need to make it happen immediately. And so you get, you know, a bit frustrated and then sad, and then you can give out to yourself, or you can go and do something about it. You know, I have a friend that says, you know, when somebody has a problem, he says, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
You know, because it's all very well having a problem, but you need to do something about it, you know. And so however long we're going to spend waiting to do something about it is what we call procrastinating, I think. It's
paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, but again, eventually we have to do something about it. And so there's always something to be done and something to be worked on. But it's interesting, and that's where the houses, the focus will be on the houses. Is what do you need to know about? What do you need to learn about? Where is your resistance? Where is it easily moving now for you? You know, what's stirring in you spiritually right now? You know, whatever method you use to uplift your
self, find something that works for you.
Find something that works for you, definitely. It's a great time for any kind of spiritual
And just
practice.
the way you were talking about the houses and the planets there, on the website there is a video on the houses, you know, if people want to kind of look to see, okay, well, Pisces is my 6th house, there's a video on there so that you can look back over what the houses represent, but also the planets. So if you want to look at the signs and the planets, there's a video there for that as well. So that's on the website, pearlsofwisdomireland.com. Just as an additional resource for people, because I know you come away from a video like this, well, if you're, certainly for me, and you have all these questions, oh, which house is that? And, you know, oh, there's that planet there, and oh, that's my 4th house. And so it's nice to...
Yeah, and the other thing I want to point out as well is, you know, Libra is, like Venus is in Pisces right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
She rules Libra.
And she rules Libra. But this is 8, if you come from Pisces to Libra. So if all this spiritual awareness has been raised here in the sign of Pisces, and this is 8 away, this is going to be transformed. Because 8 is the house of transformation.
Gosh, another layer to it.
It's a whole other dimension.
Yeah.
And so
it actually strengthens it even more, doesn't it? It's like all this is transformation and new beginnings and...
But this is the whole thing. When you're looking at a chart, you need to be able to look at it. You know, this is these planets here. You know, the Mars, the Saturn, making the connection here. You know, the nearly opposite energy to what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And Virgo is 8 away from Aquarius. So this energy is causing transformation for Virgo. You know, whatever the disappointments or the restraints or whatever that's happening. Because, and this is the whole thing that when you're looking at a chart, you need to look at where the 6 8s are, or the 2 12s. You know, because the 2-12 relationship with any two signs is one is feeding and the other is taking it away. You know, so you're losing on the one hand, but you're losing. Maybe you don't mind what you're losing, or you're spending the money, or you're sleeping it off, or you know, you're meditating it away, or you're gone to a temple, you know, or gone to a monastery or something to help you to heal it. You know, if it's you're gone to the 12th, whereas if you're in the second from it, you're feeding in, you're giving to that area. So you could say that Aquarius is being fed from this spiritual nourishment that's going on in Pisces, you know.
Because of the 12 too.
Because, and you can see that the Aquarius is causing a spend, you know, of what's in the second, what's in of value. So the 2-12 relationship is one is feeding and the other is drawing it off or draining off the food or the funds, or to give life to that area, you know. So 2-12 is like that. And as I said, the 6-8, the 8 is always, well, the 6-8 is always good to watch, because that's really where the deepest change is happening for you right now. So if you count, in actual fact, if you count from any of those houses where the major changes are happening, if you here, and especially the eclipses, you know, are indeed, it's hard to specialize in a general sense, because
of course
astrology is very kind of, when you get into it personally, and then you need to look at your own dasha, because if you're not going through, it depends. You really need to look first and foremost, I would say, is the dasha period you're in, you know, to see what Lord
dasha
is.
period are you in again? You're going into Casey, is it?
No, I'm in Venus.
Oh, you're in Venus. Okay.
So it's even more triggered right now, because the transit of Venus is going to exaltation, and Venus is in Libra in its own sign in my chart, and the eclipse is happening on top of it. And Saturn is now gone to a trine to it as well. So it's very much a time of change again for me. I think it's and this is my 4th house of home. So am I moving?
Again, watch the space.
Watch the space. The last time I said that, I didn't realise how quickly I was going to move.
Like for me, I'm in Jupiter Dasha, so it's very interesting.
Oh yeah,
you
so
know.
the Jupiter's being in Jupiter Dasha, and your Jupiter is exalted, and the Jupiter's making a 1-5-9 relationship. That's a very good, because that's a very special. The 1-5-9 is hugely beneficial. You know, for expansion or exploring the higher. And it's good to remember as well that Jupiter only gives you what's good for you. From a God perspective. It's not a good time generally for partying. Venus doesn't mind bringing the entertainment in the party. You know, she'll bring you around the other way. You know, she'll seduce you through the entertainment. But Jupiter will bring you to what God wants for you. And if you're doing what God wants for you, if you can tune into what God wants for you, like I talk about, you know, in the astrology, they talk about the Atmakarika, the soul significator. If you can tune into what that is for you, and know that Jupiter is the one that helps you to go forward. Wherever Jupiter is sitting in your chart, that's where your best work is going to be.
Right.
In that particular activity, in the sign of Cancer, the best, being emotional, nurturing, clever. Oh, sure, we're all that anyway. We both have the Jupiter in Cancer. So, and it's one of the reasons you get on with somebody as well. You know, if you have something so beneficial, so well placed. We're different generations, obviously, you know, but having the Jupiters in the same place or in 159 to each other, like they're positioned at the moment. So they're smiling, the Jupiter smiling on herself. You can, and the growth.
Oh, you can.
And the possibilities.
Absolutely.
You know, that are out there for even the, you know, the benefits of and the other relationship, you know, the other two types of relationship is the 1, 4, 7, 10 gets you into action. So a 4, we'd say 4, 10 would be we'd say Aquarius to Scorpio. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 10 back. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, it's a 4-10 relationship. When there's a 4-10 relationship between the houses, signs, whatever, that's where there's going to be action that you have to put in. You have to make the effort. Where it comes easy, it flows with 1-5-9 relationship. When it's 1, 4, 7, 10, you need to do the work.
Right.
You need to be pushed into action. You know, you need to do the thing to make it happen. Whereas the blessing, the other way, with the 1-5-9, it comes as a blessing. And with the 6-8, it comes as a challenge. It's something that really shifts you. You know, you really have to, there's no choice. It transforms you, you know, you know. But the 1, 4, 7, 10 is do it, start doing it, and it'll take a life of its own.
All very relevant to everything you're describing today.
And then the 3-11 is one other combination of relationship is the 3-11, and anything that's in the 3, the third, or the 11th is about a friend relationship. It's taking the initiative and growing because you take the initiative. You know, you have an idea, and that's the third. You want to get the start, you want to get going, and then you build community, you build out of, you grow, things grow out of that friendship. That, as I said, there's 4 houses associated with growth. The 3rd, the 6th, the 10th, and the 11th. They're described as houses of growth. So getting those houses activated means you're in the process of growth. You know,
there's a lot of growth going to be happening there by the looks of things.
I think so.
Fascinating.
I think
That's brilliant.
It's a very good.
It's fantastic.
So
well, thank you so much. That was a lovely chat this morning.
Yeah.
And maybe we should touch back. We should touch back with each other again next week and see what's happened over the few these days.
Exactly, and see what got triggered on the world stage even. You know, what got triggered under this.
Absolutely, I think.
Under this blessing
it could be very interesting to see what happens on the world stage.
Keep an eye on the news in Canada, America, South America, Africa, India, and Ireland.
Yes.
Of course.
Thank you, Pearl.
Thank you, Lauren.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.